And we are back. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with us on this lovely edition of the Doin Alright podcast, presented to you by our good friends at Ownwell. Appreciate y'all. Bryan, we got a good old Q&A Friday on tap for us here, Bryan Broaddus. We got some good questions here. I was going through them. I saw some things on there.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I pulled about 9 of them. We're gonna run with them. I saw some stuff in there, Bryan, like 7 people said it.
Yeah.
I could tell what's hot in the YouTube streets, the Twitter streets, when 7 people say something, Bryan. People keep bringing up Myles Garrett, Bryan. What they bringing up Myles Garrett for? I know that this is a time where, hey, Voch, can we trade for Pat Mahomes? Like, people to say it,
yeah.
and I skip past those. But I wonder why 7 people said Myles Garrett in particular. I wonder if he's on a trade block, and I wonder if it's even something real. Now, Bryan, there's no way you've heard anything about Myles Garrett moving now.
No,
Bryan?
No, I have not. No, I'm not at all. And to be honest with you, the Browns have come out and said that, hey, no, please don't call us, because there's been whispers about, Howie Roseman there in Philadelphia, giving the 3-1s and making that happen. So the Browns have basically come out and said, listen, thank you for calling, but please don't call. They're not interested in moving on from Garrett at all.
Can the Browns have 3 of your first-round picks from Myles Garrett?
I think to me I would absolutely consider that. Yeah, the fact that you're dealing with 4 picks, the 2 that you got from Green Bay, it makes things a little bit more palatable when it comes to that. So yeah, I would definitely entertain that possibility if it was presented to me, but I don't think they'll present it to you.
Bryan, what's your take on, because you're a personnel guy, what's your take on these superstar players that end up with these bad teams and they have loyalty to these bad teams? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they'll probably never win a Super Bowl with these guys, but they keep re-signing these contracts, these long deals for these guys, Bryan. And the idea that, maybe like Mark Davis or whoever the hell in charge over there at Cleveland, and we talking about Vegas and Cleveland or whatever because of Max.
Yeah.
The idea that if you are a owner, general manager, you really like these guys. They've been part of the organization for years, but you got to be realistic at some point and be like, hey man, Max 28.
Yeah.
His prime about to be over in 4 years. We're not gonna win a Super Bowl in 4 years. At some point, wouldn't it be better for the owner, general manager, whoever's in charge there, to try to get something back for those guys if they're not in a Super Bowl window? What's your take on the loyal player and GM, Bryan?
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what, I do appreciate the loyal player. I mean, one of the loyalest players ever that I can remember is Larry Fitzgerald in Arizona. And Larry Fitzgerald did get to play in a Super Bowl one year, but there were so many years of Larry Fitzgerald playing at a very, very high level and playing for a poor team. And so you just see that. But, Larry Fitzgerald his career's tied to Arizona. I mean, bad football there. I think that I think in this day and age where other places have general managers that their job security is not very long. And I think if you're one of those places where your security is not very long and you realize that you might be here for 3-4 years, then you need to think about being aggressive here and going and getting players, or thinking about maybe making trades of players that you have in order to maybe help your football team in another way that it might not be working out. There might be some value. People get mad at us when we start to talk about George Pickens and a potential George Pickens trade. As a general manager, you would look at that. If the intent is not to tag George Pickens or to re-sign George Pickens, then you owe it to yourself to try and get maximum value for George Pickens. And I say that as a guy that would entertain that thought if, in fact, ownership said, Bryan, we're not going to commit $35 million to another wide receiver. If ownership told me that, then it would be I'd have to use my due diligence here to think about getting max value for that player, and then going forward from there. So, these players that are at these teams that are outstanding players, Pro Bowl players, All-Pro players. It's a very, very difficult thing. But what I would do is if I'm trying to get one of those guys for my team, is I would keep trying. I would keep calling. I would make the Cleveland Browns tell me no. I would physically call them every day and say, listen, is this a possibility? Have you changed your mind? Even up to the last minute. I've said this about the Raiders. We've even now had Mark Davis come out and say, with the Raiders, he's come out and then they asked him the question about trading Max Crosby. And then to his answer was, you need to talk to the general manager and the coach. You need to talk to them. It's not that, hey, no way, we're not trading Max Crosby. It's you need to talk to the general manager and the coach. I think that's how this all got out anyway about Max Crosby, is that Trey Wingo got it from the Raiders coaching staff, and then that's how this all kind of blew up. But if Mark Davis is telling me you need to talk to the general manager and the coaches, I am doing that every single day about that player.
Man, Brian, Ace Boogie on Twitter. Appreciate you, Ace. He asked us this, but I'll word it like this.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Basically, he's asking, will Jerry do what's necessary in terms of trade acquisitions? Let me ask you this, Brian.
Okay.
What's the deal with waiting to the trade deadline when your team is in such a deficit?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I hear that all the time, and say, hey, can the Cowboys make a certain amount of trades, at the trade deadline next Tuesday or Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever it is, Tuesday. Man, why are we waiting that long? Like we've been terrible on defense for like 8 weeks now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why wait till the trade deadline, Brian?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question, because to me, I think the trade deadline actually needs to be backed up another couple of weeks, and I know that doesn't help you right now, with your issues and stuff. But honestly, I don't think teams have really given up yet, and that's the thing. You have to have somebody that's willing to have just given up. That they look and they say, maybe it happens. The Raiders were off last week. Maybe it happens this week. Maybe with the Saints it's happening. Maybe, some of these teams with Cleveland, others, maybe they've given up. The Dolphins. Maybe the Dolphins lose last night. I think Chris Greer, I think they're in a really bad spot in Miami, because Chris Greer is likely going to get fired as the general manager. So does Chris Greer want to make moves to help the next guy? He could just maybe say, I'm just going to ride this thing out. I'm going to get paid. I'm going to start working on self-preservation and get another job. But I think that to the point of the question is that teams, like, you want to go and make a deal. You want to go make a deal for Quinnen Williams or Quincy Williams or any of these players. You want to make a deal. The team you're dealing with on the other end might not be in that same let's go mode. Yeah. That's the biggest thing I think right now is I think Jerry and Steven want to make a deal. I really do believe that. Talking to people in the organization, I do believe that they want to make a move. Are the Jets now willing to make a move? Are the Raiders willing to make a move? Are the Dolphins willing to make a move? Are the Saints willing to make a move? That's what you have to focus on right now, is that these teams that they're not willing. Now, maybe after this weekend, when we get to Monday, and unfortunately for the Cowboys, they're playing a Monday night game. So maybe you've laid some groundwork with some teams that will circle back with you Monday morning and say, listen, we're interested in making this deal. I think that's what's going on right now. I've experienced that myself. Okay. When you're trying to hey, let's go get this guy. Let's go do this. And the other team is holding you up.
They're not in the biggest rush.
They're not as big a rush as I am of getting players. Yeah.
On the same token about player acquisition, Jonathan Gomez, not Jonathan Gomez, it says Gonzo, but Jonathan.
Yeah.
Man, I think he made another great point. It's another banger right here, Brian. He said, hey, man, we talk about player acquisition. I know that in the offseason, right, there wasn't going to be conversation about Asante Samuel and Christian Wilkins.
Right.
Because they hurt guys. We 9 weeks in now.
Yeah.
Would it be about time to double back on some of those guys that was hurt 9 weeks ago?
Yeah, and I think that to me is when Asante Samuel was not going to be ready to work out for people until October. Now we're past that. We're into November. Absolutely. And there was some thoughts that maybe that Samuel was waiting to go to a team potentially that had playoff aspirations or were working well. Now you're to the point too where you're halfway finished with the season, and then the money won't be as strong as you have to pay. So yes, I think that these guys. Now the thing with Wilkins, I just didn't get the feeling that was a good locker room fit. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest problem. The problem with Samuel is what you're doing with the neck, and then you should bring him in and see that and see how that's come along. But the problem I'm hearing with Wilkins is that the locker room fit. And we always talk about culture, and we talk about this coaching culture. But if you bring somebody in just halfway through, he might be at his absolute best behavior. Look at the example we've gotten from George Pickens. Mm-hmm. He's been outstanding for you.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the case, but initially the locker room fit, I heard, was not something they were particularly interested in. But we'll see about with Samuel on the other end. How do you feel about that?
Man, I think it's time to start throwing shit at the wall.
Yeah.
If you got a pocket full of shit, it's time to turn your pockets inside out. We need as much of it as we possibly can.
Yeah.
To just see what's gonna stick. Because you could look us. You could look us in the face all day and be like, "Well, guys, we don't know if it's gonna work out with Samuels.
Right.
It ain't working out with the guys you got now.
Right.
So at least what we're looking at now is he was a guy that's been hurt all year, but can he be better than Bridges?
Yeah.
Diggs is gone, so I ain't even got. I don't know who's gonna be it. But can Christian Wilkins come in and be better than Mozzie or something? You know what I mean? Like can those guys work themselves back into shape? Because in real life, Overshown one of those guys.
Sure.
Savon Revel's one of those guys.
Right.
Those guys have been out all year, and they have to come in. They have to be ramped up over 3 weeks or so. I don't think it's a bad idea just to see. We're desperate, man.
Yeah.
We're desperate. This ain't like New England. And we've been talking about New England the past couple of days here, to where they have such a luxury, Brian. Mm-hmm. They got so much continuity on their defense. They clicking on all cylinders. They can afford to say, "Yo, this guy just don't quite fit us."
Right.
We ain't got that luxury. We'll take any help that we can, just to try to keep this season alive and just keep the offense bought in, Brian. So hell yeah, what do you lose if there are guys that are free agents right now and they're coming off injuries? You could pay $38 for these people to come in right now, work out for you, and just see what they hitting on.
Yeah, the thing that makes it interesting to me, though, to your point, though, is and this is where I'll ask you another question before you get this other one is. Are we in a situation right now? Are they going to make a mistake? They felt like they had the run defense fixed, and they felt like that because of adding Kenny Clark, and then they felt like their defensive ends were good enough, which really hasn't been the case at all. That's been an issue, though. Are they going to do the same thing with the cornerbacks here? Are they going to do the same thing with Butler and Carson? And are they going to feel like, wow, we've got help on the way. We don't need to go and try and get Samuel or somebody like that. Are they going to make that mistake that they made with the evaluation of, we've got the run defense fixed?
And now you kind of digging yourself in a hole, because all the other teams is looking for corner. They may snatch the corners from you. There's already been some cornerback transactions around the league, Brian. So yeah, that's a fantastic point. And Stephen Jones will tell you, yeah, man, we looking for D-line linebacker. We got linebacker. We got corners coming.
Yeah.
Man, but that don't mean I feel great about them. We don't
saying,
know what Revel. At least Josh Butler got film from last year.
Yeah.
We don't know what Revel or Kalen Carson look like for real.
Right. Yeah, see, like you say, you got 3 young guys and you have no idea about any of them.
No.
But see, that might be the mistake that they make, that we've got these guys coming back. Why do we want to add? Mm-hmm. Why do we want to go add a guy? When in all actuality, you don't know. You don't know about these guys. And you probably didn't know about your edges and how they would play the run.
Yeah. Ted Gomez is going to add to this that we're talking about, Bryan Broaddus. What's our realistic expectation for Overshown and Revel? They've been gone for a while. Go ahead. They've been gone for a while. They're going to come back and they're just going to come in and just save the day. Do you think that it's going to be a save the day situation? Is it going to be a pitch count? Is it going to be there'll be a cool linebacker? I think it's unrealistic to just assume that these guys will come in and just shake the world up.
Yeah.
To Overshown's point, I thought it was unrealistic last year, and he came back 10 toes down and running. So, what do you think, Brian?
Yeah, the thing about it, yesterday he went off the practice field on Thursday, and everybody's like, oh geez, what just happened? Well, he had a thumb injury, and so now that I was told everything is okay with that, just the thumb sprain there, so he should be okay, no problem. There's, I wonder if there's still the plan was initially to take the full 21 days, but I wonder now if we're in a situation where he's feeling good, you're feeling good about his work, you're feeling good about how he's practicing, and now you, instead of taking the full 21 days, you go with this thing a little earlier. Yeah. I think the expectations for him and Ravel, the thing about, at least we've seen Overshown play in NFL games. We've never seen Ravel play, but I'm anxious to. I'm okay with that. If he shows me that he's ready, that he can move, he could turn, he could cut, he could jump, he could burst, he could do all these things, by all means, throw him out there and let him play. Let it find out where you got with this guy. So my expectations for him, I see a quality corner, in my opinion. What I saw from him and played East Carolina, we talk about learning curves and things like that. There might be a little of that. Yeah. This guy is long, he's mobile, all those things about it. Let's just see. I mean, I know he's a confident football player. Just throw him out there, see what happens. Really, you're so poor right now at corner in a lot of spots. Just give him an opportunity. But I say the same thing. Give Butler an opportunity. Give Carson an opportunity. I've seen this group play, and I'm just willing to move on and do what I need to do to see that group be a little bit better. But yeah, the Overshown stuff, man, coming off the knee, my hope, and I think everybody's hope, is that he's the type of player he was before he got hurt.
TC says, is there a possibility that Overshown returns as green dot guy?
Oh,
is that one of the shakeups that Shotty was talking about?
Yeah, there's we need to see what's wrong too, and I think that the green dot guy, the next one would be Sanborn. Is who I think will be.
DNP yesterday.
Yeah, we're now out of the concussion protocol, so now we're dealing with something else, and so that's the unfortunate thing right now, because I think some of the run defense stuff has been poor because of him being off the field. We've talked about that a bunch. I don't know if they necessarily. Overshown's an extremely smart and bright guy. So yeah, if they feel comfortable with that, then I think everything. There could be that possible if they want to do that.
Brian, this next question, I think, is a bit of a banger.
Okay, all these questions have been good.
They've been fantastic.
They have been good. Yeah.
This next one right here.
Appreciate that.
I want you to get ready to write something down, Brian. We're gonna do a little bit of ranking.
Okay.
But we're gonna do it after you tell us about our good friends at Ownwell.
Homeowners, quick time out here. That property tax bill your county's about to drop on you, you don't have to eat it. Ownwell can fight it for you in about 3 minutes. No upfront cost, nothing out of pocket. They handle the whole process, the paperwork, the appeal, even the hearing if it goes that far. Most people end up having their value lowered and save around $1,100, and it's a no-win, no-fee deal. And if they don't save you money, you don't pay. Once you're in, they keep checking on it every year, so savings can stack season after season. Do us a solid, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description below. That supports our show, and you'll get free savings estimates in minutes. Ownwell keeps it simple. Less stress, lower tax bill, and money back. Everybody wins. Tell them that Brian sent you.
Let me just ask you something, Bryan Broaddus. And I've never done this exercise before. All this time we've been talking about how bad this defense was. I've never done this exercise before. Tweety says this. Where we at? Tweety says this. If we had to rank, I'll use the word and how urgent, our sense of urgency. Jerry Jones gave us the keys to go make a trade. Defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker, safety.
The quality of the players all the same.
Sure.
Okay, so as we're looking at them,
just even. They're
all even.
Whether we use a first round pick on these guys to get a first round caliber back, whether we use a fifth round pick and get a fifth.
We could use a one to get any one of these positions.
Any one
of these positions.
Anyone. We either gonna get the best safety, the best defensive tackle, the best edge, or the best linebacker. How would you rank those guys from most important to least important to you?
I think I would start everything up the middle, and I would start with the linebacker. Then I'd go the safety. Then I'd go the defensive tackles.
Linebacker, safety, and then D tackle?
Yeah. I think everything up the middle for you right now is a problem.
So you would rather
and I would put defensive end as 4.
So let's just say some names since we over here. Fred Warner versus Kevin Byard. You're going to go Fred Warner every time.
Yeah.
He's hurt, but we just saying hypothetically.
Right. But that type, the quality you're talking, if everything is equal, now if you telling me that the edge is Max Crosby and the safety.
So it's like Max, Kirby, Joseph, Jeffrey Simmons, Fred Warner.
See, that's what I'm saying. I really, really like Jeffrey Simmons from Tennessee.
I like him a lot. Yeah.
And I think to me that would be a huge upgrade inside. But if everything was equal, man, just how about a safety that could help with some coverage things on the back end that could be physical, that could come down and tackle. That, okay, like I know this is maybe unrealistic. I mean, maybe it's not. Brian Branch.
Sure.
If you told me that I could have Brian Branch and have Jeffrey Simmons, that would be kind of tough for me because I see all the things that Brian Branch does. Trust me, I love when you start to talk about like looking at Jeffrey Simmons, Quinnen Williams.
Yeah.
That would be huge for this football team. But what Brian Branch does at safety, his ability to play in the back, to play down, to cover, to blitz, to tackle. I think the linebackers here have been. I think if you talk about maybe the biggest, other than the defensive ends, the linebackers here are probably the biggest misevaluation there's been.
I've seen linebackers change a whole defense, Brian.
Yeah.
I've seen Sean Lee do it. I've seen Luke Kuechly do it. Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis. I've seen defenses change when they get a dude at linebacker.
Yeah.
I'm taking linebacker.
Well, look at what like when Baltimore Ravens, as good as they are on defense, trade for Roquan Smith. Yeah.
I'm gonna go linebacker first.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna go tackle.
Okay.
Jeffrey Simmons and them. Then I'll go edge with Max Crosby. I love safety. I think safety can help you.
Yeah.
But I just think, man, what's the point of having a good safety and your pass rush is garbage? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I would much rather fix the run game first. I fix linebacker first, then I fix like a run game thing, then pass rush, then safety.
Do you feel like on this team that you have better edges or safeties?
Man, I think your edges are better on paper, but in this scheme, that ain't the case. In that scheme, that ain't the case. But all your big plays,
yeah,
look, they might be equally terrible. They might be equally yoked in this way because we can't get pressure, and all you get is big plays down the field.
See, that's what I'm saying, though. To me, I kind of look at Donovan Ezeraku, Houston.
Yeah,
those two. Okay, those two are my edges.
Yeah,
and then, but what do I have at safety? See, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that maybe. I mean, I feel like that maybe that I don't have. At least I have somebody at defensive tackle. At least I have somebody at edge.
Yeah.
At least I have somebody, but I don't feel like I have linebacker until maybe I get Overshown back.
Voch says this: what if all these dudes are good already, but just Fluke's bringing them down? Like,
no, that's
Voch
fair.
Says this.
That's fair. That's fair. That's all fair. That's all fair.
Ambar made a hell of a point yesterday.
Yeah.
Everybody bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that means something. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody said this, Brian. Sonny Bubbles. Damn. Sonny Bubbles says, what do you think about transitioning into a 3-4 defense? Sonny Bubbles, they've run out some 3-4 looks this year.
Yeah.
Haven't always put the best personnel in the best places. You know,
No.
I saw Donovan Ezeraku as a 4-I-5 guy one time. Man, I was like, hey, that ain't great. But like maybe Brian, you think that if they go Jay Toia in the middle, Osa and Kenny Clark as like your 5 guys,
right? And
I guess your outside edges would be a rotation of the current edge guys that you have.
Yeah. And
your middle dudes would be Sanborn and Murray or Overshown when he comes back. You'll say that that's what a 3-4 would look like?
Probably so.
Jay Toia inactive though, so we had to put Myles at 0.
I think we're getting to the point now though with we keep asking about Winfrey and guys like that. That's I think there's some people on this that are practicing right now that are ready to play and coaching staff one way or another doesn't think that they need them right now. And I find that really, really hard to believe, especially when you watch this defense. I don't know how you can watch this defense. I don't know how Jerry Jones can watch this defense or Stephen Jones can watch this defense and feel like that, hey, the guys that we have on the field currently are our best players. And I'm not saying rush guys back, but if guys are ready, what's keeping you? Well, what's keeping you is coaches don't want to get rid of these guys. Coaches don't want to get rid of. You should honestly, there's defensive players you should honestly move on from. There are some guys. Let's not act like this team is just chalked with starters, Pro Bowl starters. I mean, there are guys. This roster has players that they need to move on from. There's no question about that.
Bryan,
don't let that keep you from making moves.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't let that be the reason why.
I agree. Yeah. I agree with you, Bryan. Let's do how about this, Bryan? Play Baller says this. He asked about Malik Davis and adding him to the party.
Right.
I can see why you would say that, but I'm asking you this. We talking about trades. You think running back should be in that conversation?
With trades?
Sure. Trade like a lift fifth or something, go get a running back maybe? Just some help somewhere.
Yeah,
like that kid from Baltimore, Keaton Mitchell. Would you send something to go get him?
Yeah, I think to me that that's maybe I am blinded and in love, with
Blue.
With Blue.
I gotta see it though.
That's and the fumble the other day, man, he got rocked pretty good. That still got to hang on to the ball. They're fortunate that Hoffman was able to wrestle that one away.
I mean, he's only had 18 carries in the league, and he's fumbling.
Yeah, no, and that's an issue. I just feel like, though, there's a big play. When we talk about Donovan Ezraku, I think this is a game where Donovan Ezraku against Jonah Williams has a couple of sacks. I think this is going to be one of those games for Donovan Ezraku. I would like to believe that if you look at the Blue and how they want to play him, and not that Arizona is not a team that's going to give up a bunch of rushing yards, but I want to believe that there is an explosive player too. And I know there's some people that have kind of talked about, I know Bobby Belt talked about this on 105.3 The Fan, and could you get Blue and say Turpin to split reps and play in the slot? Could there be things that you do with Blue out of the slot instead of handing him the football in the backfield? I think it's an interesting dynamic to think about. I'd like to see them try that. I think they have that kind of creativity to their offense. But I don't know about I kind of feel like that trading right now for a running back would be very similar to what the trading like they did, and it ended up like Mingo. That you give up a pick and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we got a guy, but we don't know how to use him or don't want to use him.
I think this is the best question anybody's asked all day right here, Bryan.
Okay.
I shook my head 10 times when I saw it. Right here. King Cobb on Twitter says,
King Cobb,
when can we get a Crown Global Media hoodie in wooded camo?
Oh, wow, because you wore yours.
See me up there with my yarn on.
Yeah.
He said, when can we get a Crown Global hoodie? Even if we can't get it mass produced, I want that for myself.
Yeah.
He says, the wooded camo Crown Global hoodie, Bryan, bro. He said, when can we get that?
I'll tell you what, man, that's...
Can our guy get us some wooded camo Crown? Just thumbs up if we can. Can we get a wooded camo?
Yeah, I tell you...
He said he don't know, but I make him a damn self. Just like we made them vests, I make him a damn self.
I tell you what...
How fire would that be?
Yeah, you know what? I know we got beanies and stuff coming, so we could get the hoodies with the beanies and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of creativity that we've got in mind, and I like the question though.
Our Mississippi sales gonna go through the roof, and Texas,
and Texas,
and Louisiana. If we can get some wood,
I'd fish in a camo.
Damn straight,
I'd fish in a camo hoodie.
Please work on getting some wooded camo. Hey, we appreciate everybody for sending us questions, man. Fantastic stuff that y'all got to us today. If y'all want any merch that we have right now, y'all please go to crownglobalmedia.com, and all our links are there, but there's a link in the description if you want to go straight there. It is down there for you, but on the website you can find the audio platform, you can find anything, all the socials, clips, YouTube stuff from my channel. It's all there. So crownglobalmedia.com. We appreciate y'all very much. Don't forget the Cowboys play on Monday. Bryan don't want to do 24 hours worth of work that day. So we will not be live Monday, but we'll find some way to make that up. We'll figure out something on the fly. But appreciate y'all, and come back Tuesday and we'll break it all down and have a shorter week next week. All right, that's Bryan Broaddus on VOCHLONBARDI, and we'll catch y'all next time. Don't forget to watch YouTube shorts. We be going crazy over there. That is extra content on the side that we ain't even talk about today, so please go watch them. Crown.